It's Jasmine again, back again with another video. How are my lovelies doing today and this week? I hope everyone is doing well. As you can see by the title of the video, this video is all about red flags. But before we get into that, if you're new here, make sure you subscribe and hit the notification bell to be notified of every video. Make sure you tell a friend to tell a friend about my channel, Jasmine. And comment what you all want to see next, lovelies. This channel is for you, and I would love to do any content, any topics, or anything that you want to see next. So please, please, please comment and let me know what you like seeing and what type of topics you want me to talk about. Now let's get into the video. As always, I'm going to read a devotional for today, an affirmations, and prayer. So the devotional I'm reading from is Jesus Calling, and let's do the devotional. So today's devotional says, stop trying to work things out before their times have come. Oh, I feel like I needed to hear this message, because honestly, I'm like really pushing myself, like, why aren't I here yet? Why don't I have this much subscribers? But you know, everything takes time. It's in God's timing. Rome was not built overnight. That's the things I remind myself. So sometimes you just have to have patience. Sometimes it takes time. Sometimes you have to grind, but you'll get there. And then it says, accept the limitations of living one day at a time. When something comes to your attention, ask me whether or not it is part of today's agenda. If it isn't, release it into my care and go on about today's duties. When you follow this practice, there will be a beautiful simplicity about your life. A time for everything and everything in its time. This is a word. A life lived close to me is not complicated or cluttered. When your focus is on my presence, many things that once troubled you lose their power over you. Though the world around you is messy and confusing, remember that I have overcome the world. I have told you these things so that in me you may have peace. There is a time for everything and a season for every activity under heaven. For there is a proper time and procedure for every matter, though a man's misery weighs heavily upon him. Since no man knows the future, who can tell him what is to come? I have told you these things so that in me you may have peace. In this world you will have trouble, but take heart. I have overcome the world. That was a word. I honestly feel like I need to hear this. And obviously God feels that other people that are watching, my lovely supporters, needed to hear it as well. So now I'm gonna say a prayer over us in today's video. Father God, I just want to say thank you for today. Thank you for waking all of us up this morning. Thank you for my lovely supporters, my lovelies. Thank you for giving me my creativity, my thoughts, my content. Thank you for YouTube, this platform. I just pray that everyone has a great day and they feel blessed and loved and feel your presence and light. And I pray that your presence is with me through this video, and I pray that we all have peace. And I pray that I slow down. This word really spoke to me today, this devotional, and just seek you and your voice and your name. And I just pray that I don't get ahead of myself and I stop giving myself so much stress and anxiety, but I just trust in you fully, God, and I follow your steps. In your name, Jesus' name, I pray. Amen. Amen, amen. So now let's do the devotion. I mean, not the devotional, the affirmations. The first one, like always, is from Words That Work by the beautiful Melinda Williams. Shout out to her. And I'm gonna pull this affirmation. This one is from All I Do Is Win. My family and I abide under the shadow of the Almighty. We are protected everywhere that we go. I love that one. I just love these cards. It says, my family and I abide under the shadow of the Almighty. We are protected everywhere we go. So yeah, I need to see this too. Just remembering that I'm protected and God is with me everywhere. Now we're gonna do the 365 Powerful Positive Affirmations for Black Women by Layla Moon. Today we're talking about relationship red flags. So I'm gonna try to pull something from her relationship section. Let me see her table of contents. Okay, so she has love affirmations, so let's try that today. This is from chapter 7 in her book, page 57. Let's see. Okay. So it says 60 affirmations for love. Everyone deserves love. Love is at the center of everything that we do. Love for people, love for self, passion for life. These are all different expressions of love, and we all need it in our lives. The affirmation says, I welcome this day with love in my heart, warmth in my soul, and light in my eyes. I welcome this day with love in my heart, warmth in my soul, and light in my eyes. One more time, say it with me. I welcome this day with love in my heart, warmth in my soul, and light in my eyes. Love it. So now, without further ado, let's get into today's video about the red flags, ladies, that you want to watch out for from these fellas in relationships. Like I said, we're talking all about the red flags in relationships and dating and how to recognize them and spot them before it's too late. And when you're dating someone new, it's important that you vet them and pay close attention to them and any red flags, and definitely I would say take it slow. And red flags are warning signs that this person that you're dating or talking to is not good for you and may not be the one for you. And I've honestly had my fair share of bad relationships and toxic situations that, if I'm being honest and real with myself, I should not have been in the first place, and I definitely should have vetted them better or gotten into. And if I had paid closer attention to red flags, it could have honestly been avoided. But luckily, I did get out of those situations, and I'm glad that I did, and I didn't marry them or anything, and I stopped dating them. But I've definitely learned from this and taken so much from it, and I've grown as a person and in my dating life, and I've grown to learn myself and created more boundaries for myself, and I've made a list of things that I will not tolerate. So ladies, definitely use your discernment. And I'll say that us as women, we usually have intuitions and gut feelings. I know that I have, and I've sometimes ignored it, and it's bitten me in the butt. But sometimes when things don't seem or feel right or off about a guy, you're usually right. Don't ignore that. That's usually God telling you that he's not it, that he's not the one for you. Don't ignore that. Trust that intuition. And I've done that, and later down the line, I've regretted it and realized that I really need to listen to God's voice and my own woman's intuition. And if you're spiritual or religious like me, I also recommend going to God and praying to God about every person that you date, and just asking God, is this person right for me? Is this the one? And so now I'm going to list out some major red flags to me that stick out that I will no longer tolerate, and I'll never tolerate in dating. It's a bit of a lengthy list for you young ladies, but it's definitely worth it. But I want to make sure that you all have this knowledge so you don't make some of the same mistakes that I've made. For me, a red flag would be a man that is over like their 20s, late 20s, and he doesn't have his own money, he doesn't work, he doesn't have a legitimate stream of income, he doesn't have his own place to live, his own car. Those are red flags to me. If he's a user, like he's just using you, making you pay for dates, that's a big no-go, big red flag right there. If he just wants certain benefits from you, if he does not respect you and your boundaries, if he cannot take no for an answer, huge red flag. One of my biggest pet peeves with dating is like lack of communication or ghosting. I've had a guy ghost me. Like, that just tells you right there, they're not that interested. They're not that into you. Like that movie, he's just not that into you. And in dating, the person should be consistent. But if they're unresponsive or doesn't communicate well, to me, that's a huge red flag and a sign, like I said, that they're just not that into you. Because I feel like, especially with a guy, if he likes you and with dating, you'll make time for what you want. People definitely make time for what they want to make time for. Communication is key in any relationship. And if he's lacking that, sis, that's definitely a huge red flag, especially from the beginning. Catch it on early. And communication will probably not improve over time if he's like that. Another red flag is if he idolizes you. I know we all grew up watching movies where the couple falls in love at first sight. And I feel like in real life, a man should not like idolize you too much. And I believe it's creepy if someone like right away, the first day they're meeting you, a first date, they say they love you right away, that's a red flag. And so if you just met the guy and he's selling you all these hopes and dreams and telling you he loves you and you literally just met him 5 minutes ago, yeah, that's a no-go. Yeah, something's wrong there. I wouldn't keep pursuing that, because real love, it actually takes time to cultivate. There's no way. It's just no. Another red flag is if he does not respect you or your family. It's no secret that respect is a huge cornerstone in relationships. It means that you value and appreciate the person and your partner as a person. And if a man is not showing you respect, there's a high chance that the relationship is it's not gonna work out, since it's gonna end up being toxic. Another red flag for me is controlling behavior. If your partner is overly controlling, if everything has to be his way, if he tries to tell you what to do all the time, dictate like he's your father or something, this is a partnership, not a dictatorship. You know, that's a huge red flag. Run. It's important to be with someone who respects you and your input, who respects your independence, who, like I said, respects your saying things. You both come together and have a say. Disrespectful behavior is if he also does not respect you, your boundaries, and your family. That's definitely a no-go. He's gotta go, sis. Another one for me is dishonesty. I cannot stand liars. Do not lie to me. And if I catch you in your lie and you're still gonna keep lying to my face and try to cover it up, but I have the evidence, or I know you're lying, that's just horrible. You're getting cut off. No. Another red flag is if your partner is inconsistent with their patterns, they're dishonest and they lie to you. Like I said, that's a major red flag. And that loses trust. That breaks trust when someone lies to you. And trust is a major, crucial part of any relationship. And if it's lacking, it can be hard to build a strong foundation with someone that you feel like you can't trust, or that's always lying, you know? If he pressures you, and if he repeatedly pressures you to do anything you don't want to do, whether it be physical or anything, that is not good. And it means that he does not have your best interest at heart. And yeah, he's looking out just for himself. He's selfish. Because when you set healthy boundaries in a relationship, it's how both partners make sure that they both feel comfortable. You want to feel comfortable and safe in the relationship. Another huge red flag is that he doesn't like your family and friends. He doesn't want to come around your family and friends. He's talking about them. He doesn't want to come to family functions. Been there, done that. It's not good. And it's said that we're the sum of the 5 people closest to us, meaning that your friends and family mirror you and your character and your interests and your behavior, and they'll mirror it back to you. So if a man is telling you he doesn't like your family and he doesn't want to be around them or your friends, chances are high that he actually feels that way about you deep down, and he thinks there's something wrong with you too, and he doesn't really like you and want to be with you. He's just tolerating you. Another red flag is he's too prideful. There's actually a number of scriptures in the Bible, if you're religious, that talk about the consequences of pride. It's scriptures in Isaiah, James, Proverbs, and that's just to name a few. It's a character trait that God actually condemns and will judge you for harshly. Therefore, I feel that if a man is prideful and only cares about himself and only believes in himself and his own strengths more than in God's, that's a huge red flag. I feel that if he's quick to anger, if he's always angry and yelling at you about something, oh, I've experienced this too, it's the worst. If he has a hot head, a bad temper, that means he has no self-control. He doesn't respect you. Excuse me. He leads with his emotions. It's like you're dating a child, a very immature guy. And in a relationship, both partners should be patient, kind, calm, loving when dealing with each other, not angry all the time. So if he's always angry, quick to anger, getting mad at you for no reason or over a slight little thing, that could be a serious sign that your relationship will suffer in the future, and to me, a huge red flag. Another red flag is that he has no patience or tolerance for things. Like I said before, patience is a virtue and a key component in every healthy relationship. And if he's missing that, like he doesn't have patience, quick to anger, that's a huge red flag. And yeah, it's just not a good look. Another red flag is that he doesn't respect and honor his parents. That's huge. And that goes hand in hand, I feel like, with not respecting your family if he doesn't respect his own. Pay very close attention to how a man repeatedly talks about his family, especially his parents, his mom and dad. If he talks bad about them, if he fails to honor and respect them, then that's a red flag. I wouldn't want somebody like that raising my kids. Another red flag is if he's manipulative and deceptive. One of the most common deal breakers to me in dating, especially finding a Christian partner, is if they're manipulative, like a user, a liar, all that. And it means that they're with you just for their own personal benefit. They're selfish. If a man uses manipulation or deceit to gain control over you, that's what it's all about, is control. It means that he's using you for his own benefit. Another red flag is he has no self-control. Self-control is huge. If you have no self-control, who's to say you'll cheat or do something horrible to sabotage the relationship? And the Bible is very clear that as believers, exercising self-control, as it affects every part of our life. Therefore, if he lacks any type of self-control or has no discipline in his life, then he'll have a hard time, honestly, I feel like, committing to you, being faithful and loyal to you. And that's why lack of self-control, to me, in dating is a huge red flag. You don't want someone that's going to cheat down the line and lie to you. And you should be running, sis. As soon as that you catch him cheating in the first lie, in my opinion, you should run. Another red flag is that he's secretive. He could be living a double life. Being private is good, but being secretive, not so much to me. That's a big no. Honesty in a relationship is huge to me. It's very important to the health of a relationship. So if your partner seems very secretive, like naive, not telling you too much, or like short-tempered in things and exclude you from important things in certain areas of their life, I feel you're gonna have a hard time connecting with him on a more intimate level, and it'll be surface level and it won't last, in my opinion. Another red flag is if he's very jealous. If he has jealous tendencies, unnecessary jealousy can lead to a lot of drama in the relationship. A man who's constantly exhibits unhealthy jealousy and toxic behaviors might actually subconsciously harbor feelings of jealousy, inferiority, and hate towards you. And this could actually be a sign of him having low self-esteem. So you want to date someone that's confident in themselves and have good, high self-esteem. And it'll eventually become a bigger issue in the relationship if it's not dealt with immediately. Another red flag is that if he ignores your needs, puts it on the back burner, and ignores how you feel. The beauty of a healthy relationship is that both partners come together and care for each other equally and show love. And they care for each other's well-being. So if your needs are not being met and they're not part of his number one priorities, you should definitely reconsider dating that person in that relationship altogether. And definitely make space and time for a man that actually cares about you and your feelings. Another red flag is that he's like very one-sided, selfish. Everything is his way or the highway, and he does not compromise. For a relationship to be healthy and work, compromise has to happen. It's a non-negotiable part of love. And if you find yourself constantly giving in to him to make him happy, to please him, to do what he wants, while he never does anything for you, then that's definitely a red flag and an issue. If you desire to have a successful, happy, loving relationship, both partners need to equally be willing to compromise and be involved in order for both of you to feel valued, loved, wanted, and appreciated in an overall healthy relationship. If he makes you feel stupid in a relationship, this is a big red flag. If he's like, it's just a sign of toxicity. And if your partner puts you down, ridicules you, makes fun of you, calls you names, doesn't value your own thoughts and opinions, it makes you feel just plain like dumb and like you don't know what you're talking about. And if he's not treating you with respect and love, if you feel unsure and insecure about yourself, because of your partner and the way that they treat you, it's a big deal breaker and you should run. Another red flag is if he refuses to be official. One major deal breaker in dating is when your person that you're dating is keeping your relationship a secret under tabs. While it does not necessarily mean that he's cheating on you, it's definitely a red flag that he doesn't tell anyone about you and that he's trying to keep you a secret. And to me, that means that he's just trying to keep his options open and he doesn't really care. He's not as invested as you think he is. A lot of men, understandably, will still be in touch with their exes or other women that they've dated in the past while getting to know a new woman, which is fine. That's just in the beginning stages. However, if you both said that you're exclusive, committed to each other in a relationship, then he needs to cut them off. And if he refuses to be official after you decide that you're exclusive, that's another huge red flag. Red flags in relationships are huge. Take heed. Another red flag is if he does not apologize after hurting you. Just like compromising, being able to apologize in a relationship is what keeps the relationship balanced and healthy. If your love interest is not willing to apologize when he's wrong for his mistakes, and he never, just admits fault to anything, it shows that he has little compassion and care for you. Because an apology does not just restore trust and dignity to a relationship, but it also contributes to a feeling of safety and makes the other person feel heard and loved. Another red flag is that his life does not honor God. Bad company corrupts good character. If his actions repeatedly show you that he does not fear or value God or honor God, especially if you're a Christian, then it means that you're unequally yoked and you want to be equally yoked, not unequally yoked in a relationship. And therefore the relationship is not going to work and it may be doomed to fail. Another red flag is that he is unforgiving and stubborn. We all know that forgiveness can be really hard, but it is so critical and important in a relationship to forgive. Because the truth is that we're human. We're going to make mistakes. Every couple fights. Every couple faces challenges at times. Therefore, both partners need to be willing and learn to come together to look beyond the offenses and mistakes at times and forgive each other. Forgive their loved ones. If he's unable to forgive you, that is huge. If he holds on to grudges, that's huge too. Another red flag, a huge one, is that he's a hypocrite. Men and women that talk the talk at church but don't walk the walk in their everyday life behind closed doors or don't really have a relationship with God, that's a very big, dangerous red flag. A dangerous red flag to me is a man that pretends to serve Christ and be Christian, but he does worldly things and he doesn't truly share the love of Christ with you. That's why discernment is so important. Another red flag is that he worries more than he believes. If there's one thing that I have learned in my 28 years of life of dating, is that worry never solves anything, but faith solves everything and can move mountains. You have to have faith. You don't want to be with a man that's like a negative person whenever life gets hard. You want a man that understands that everything works together for our good and trusts and believes in God and God's timing with all of his heart. Another red flag is that he is abusive. This is a big warning sign that can show itself early on in a relationship. If he is controlling, instills fear into you, controls you, like I said, tries to isolate you from family and friends and loved ones, it could be a sign that he is definitely abusive. Please, please do not wait until it gets physical to call it quits. Abuse could be emotional, as well as mental, not just physical as well. Another red flag is if he oversteps your boundaries. If a guy repeatedly pushes your boundaries and does not listen to you, does not take no for an answer, it's only a matter of time until he'll ignore your boundaries and he'll hurt you emotionally or even physically, unfortunately. Because respecting someone's boundaries is a sign of respect and love. 24 is that he does not invest in the relationship. If he's not invested into the relationship, if he's not putting in any effort at all to be with you, why would you want to be with him? A healthy relationship can only thrive and be built when both partners put in effort. So if he's not putting in any effort and doing his part as a man, it's definitely time for you to walk away and go elsewhere. Another red flag is that he's emotionally unavailable. The best way to deal with an emotionally unavailable man is to just simply not deal with him at all. And he could be emotionally unavailable if he's not ready to be vulnerable, if he doesn't open himself up to a loving connection, if he's standoffish or has a wall up. And in those instances, you should never ever force him, but take a step back, give him space, give him clarity to figure out his emotional barriers. Another red flag is if he's just plain selfish and strings you along. You do not want someone that strings you along. That's the worst feeling. Being in a relationship with someone that is selfish will only bring problems and hurt to you. If he always puts himself first, his needs first, his wants first, without any consideration for you and how you feel or what you need, then that's a huge red flag as well. And that indicates that he is not ready for a relationship or to be with you. If he is ungrateful, it's well known that gratitude brings joy. Therefore, someone that can never see the good in things and never have gratitude will have a hard time in life and a hard time appreciating your relationship. And they'll suck the joy right out of you. Another red flag is if he's too entitled to you and your body. If your man has a sense of entitlement in you and your needs while expecting you to meet his needs and do whatever he wants, and that behavior leads to an unbalance in the relationship. And that'll often lead to a no-win situation. Another red flag is that you don't have anything in common. No common interests, no common hobbies, nothing to really talk about. What are you together for then, you know? And contrary to common belief, it's important to be equally yoked, as I mentioned before, in more areas than just your faith. And that's because a relationship is meant to thrive and be fun and loving on top of just being purposeful. And so if you have nothing in common to talk about, you can fizzle out really quick. And that's a sign that you need to move on and that this is not the person for you. Another red flag is that he has no purpose or direction in his life. He has no goals. He doesn't know what he's doing. He's just going with the flow. A man that has no purpose in life will have a hard time actually committing to a woman. And that's because he doesn't have a plan for his life. He doesn't know what he wants. He doesn't have a sense of direction. And in today's generation, it actually means that he doesn't know what to do with his life. And you don't want to be stuck with someone that's just going with the flow. You don't want to merge your life with someone that has no intentions and no plan for his life. Remember that your future husband will lead, will know what to do, will be called to be the head of your household. Another red flag is that he does not have a relationship with God. As a Christian, this is so important. Last but certainly not least, is the most important one. Well, one of the most important ones to me. I feel like these were all important. Red flag as a Christian dating is that he doesn't have a relationship with God. No matter how attractive he is, no matter if he calls himself a godly man or not, if he does not consider Jesus as his Lord and submit to Christ, it's a dating red flag, in my opinion, that should send you running. Remember, it takes a while to get to know someone, Definitely take your time, take things slow, vet the guy, and take your time, like I said, and keep these red flags in mind when you're Christian dating, to discern if this man is from God, if this man really is for you and a good fit for you. Take heed. Please pay attention to red flags, ladies, to avoid hurt later. Thank you so much for watching today's video on red flags in dating and relationships. I hope it was helpful and valuable for quickly spotting red flags in men. Comment what you want to see next. Comment any red flags that you feel are red flags that I might have missed in my video. This channel is for you, lovely, so comment what you want to see next. Thank you so much for watching. Please share my channel, tell a friend about Jasmine. Hit the notification bell to be notified of every video. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed yet. Hit the thumbs up, it helps me out a lot. Thank you all so much for your continued support. It means the world to me. Thank you, my lovelies. I'll see you in the next video. Until next time, peace and love. Mwah.